This is Picks on Politics with Dan Manarino.
And welcome to Picks on Politics, everybody. I am Dan Manarino, and today we begin not with one of the big races of the primary season, but instead focusing in on our current leader, Eric Adams. This week, Mayor Adams spoke at a Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, encouraging cryptocurrency moguls to back local lawmakers who support the industry. The mayor also floated ideas that Bitcoin could be used to pay taxes and fees. Take a look.
And I want you back in the city of New York where you won't be attacked and criminalized. Let's get rid of the Bitcoin license and allow us to have the free flow of Bitcoin in our city.
So the current comptroller and candidate for mayor, Brad Landers, swift to release a statement saying, quote, New York City will not be issuing any Bitcoin-backed bonds on my watch. Mayor Eric Adams may be willing to bet on our future on crypto in exchange for a trip to Vegas, but my job is to ensure our city's financial stability, end quote. The comptroller added the notion is, quote, legally dubious and fiscally irresponsible. So there's a lot of questions about this. Let's bring in Deputy Mayor for Communications to Mayor Adams, Fabien Levy. He is going on the record. Deputy Mayor, great to have you back.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
So let me talk about why the mayor actually went to Las Vegas and kind of the goal of what his appearance there would be.
Sure. So the mayor he calls himself the tech mayor. That is, look at everything he's done over the course of the last 3.5 years, drones, robots, all these kind of things. And so blockchain, cryptocurrency, it's all about the future. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on any of these topics, but I know that lots of folks are talking about how we can use blockchain for a multitude of services in the future.
He floated this idea of bringing Bitcoin bonds back. How soon could that actually become a reality? You heard from the comptroller there, Brad Lander, who says, not on my watch. And why does the mayor see this as the best way to kind of use as a payment for taxes and fees?
Well, so he's looking at all the different ways we can do kind of things, whether it's paying taxes, whether it's talking about death certificates and birth certificates on the blockchain so that it's accessible for families well into the future. There's a multitude of ways you can use this kind of technology. Mm-hmm. We're going to explore it. Doesn't mean every single thing is going to happen tomorrow. And look, the comptroller, he can say what he wants. He's going to be comptroller for 6 more months. And so then it's going to be, a new comptroller in place.
Well, and the mayor could very well be the mayor for the next 6 months.
Well, I think he'll be there for 4 years and 6 months. But
cryptocurrency, the two new comptroller candidates, Justin Brennan and Mark Levine, you mentioned how Lander might be out, but one of them is going to be in. And they say it's not a good idea because of the volatility of crypto. Is it volatile?
So, look, again, I'm not an expert on this kind of this area, but what I know is that the mayor, whoever the next comptroller, will sit down with them and try to have a more productive relationship than the comptroller, who's obviously been running for 4 years for mayor of New York, wanted to have with Mayor Adams.
Gotcha. Okay, I want to move on to another topic here, and this is just kind of news of the week. Unfortunately, kind of falls into this crypto conversation. Sure. Sources telling Pix 11 that NYPD detectives assigned to the mayor's security detail are actually being questioned in relation to the cryptocurrency kidnapping and torture plot that we saw play out in Soho. The story is wild when you hear the details. So reports are saying that this detail drove potentially one of the victims to this very apartment. What can you tell us about it?
So it's an ongoing investigation, so there's very little information that I personally have. IAB over at NYPD is conducting the investigation, but I know that it's not just an individual on the mayor's detail. There was another individual within the NYPD at least.
Narcotics.
I don't know exactly which unit that individual was in. I don't know if anybody else. So it's not related to the mayor or anything like that. But everyone needs to follow the law, whether you're a police officer or not a police officer, and so this is going to be under investigation.
The detective that was on the mayor's detail, is he still or is he on modified leave?
Both detectives. I actually don't know if the second one was a detective or an officer, but both individuals within the NYPD are on modified leave.
Until when?
Until the investigation is done.
Okay. And then the other headline that just played out a couple days ago, Congressman Dan Goldman said he witnessed a group of ICE agents detaining immigrants during routine court appearances in Lower Manhattan. From what the congressman said, he said that these were folks trying to secure citizenship, that they weren't the worst of the worst, right? And that they were kind of swept up in these raids. What is the response from City Hall about what took place in Lower Manhattan?
Sure. So, we're still gathering more information. As you know, there are local laws here in the city that prohibit us from coordinating with ICE about civil immigration proceedings. But the mayor has been very clear This is a city of immigrants. This is a nation of immigrants. We want those that are here trying to follow the law, trying to follow the process, to have their chance at the American dream.
So were these folks, because Dan Goldman is saying they were, those folks who were doing exactly what you're describing. They were there trying to get citizenship the right way and were swept in a raid. Now, I know you're saying that they didn't coordinate with local law enforcement, but that's not the question. What happened wrong?
Well, if the people were there to go to court, get their asylum applications, I spoke to the mayor about this morning, and he said people should be going to court to follow the proceedings. We want them to send their kids to school. We want them to go to the hospital. We want them to call the police 911 if they're in trouble. And those that go in, federal immigration authorities go in and focus on those that are following the rules and using city services, it does make all of us less safe.
So what is the message then to folks who are going to federal court, right, to do just that and get their proper... They may not want to go now, hearing what just happened in Lower Manhattan, and there was this individual, the 20-year-old, who was at the Bronx school. I know it didn't happen in the school, but it certainly created some fears, and there was a rally outside of City Hall about it yesterday. What's the message to those folks who seemingly are going about their life, but now are being swept up in a raid?
Sure, and so, this is even a little bit of a personal story for me. My family are immigrants. My mother was born in Iraq. My father was born in Iran. Their families were persecuted in different countries throughout the generations. And, no one should have to fear using public services. And so, going to court and doing what we're asking you to do, which is, follow the asylum process, is not something that anyone should be fearful of. Like, it's wrong.
Okay. I want to talk about this new office to combat anti-Semitism. It's been in the news, and this isn't a new problem, right? It's been around for quite some time here. This anti-Semitism has been growing, a trend in New York City. Why now?
So it's unfortunate that the problem's been going on for a while, but as you can see, after October 7th, after the terrorist attacks in Israel in 2023, the rate of anti-Semitism in New York City has grown exponentially, especially hate crimes. Most recently, the first quarter of 2025, 62% of hate crimes were against Jewish New Yorkers. Jewish New Yorkers only make up 10% of the population here in the city, so they're 10% of the population, but overwhelmingly the target of hate crimes in New York City.
What's he hope to accomplish with this?
We're hoping to bring down anti-Semitism across our city. So, this new office is going to do a multitude of things. It's going to look at pushing lawsuits faster through the system, working with the DAs, making sure that every city agency has a point person to look at materials that go out, so to make sure that we're not pushing any kind of anti-Semitic rhetoric, even if it's a microaggression or something like that. Okay,
keep us posted on what comes out of that, right?
Absolutely.
And some of the results that come as it continues on. We are in official beach season now, all right? Memorial Day. I don't know if you're beach ready, but that's not comes across wrong, but but. Lifeguards is always an issue in New York City. How is it looking for this summer? Do you have enough, or are you anticipating to have some sections of beaches closed once again?
So we're hopeful to have all the beaches open, all the pools open.
And all sections?
We're hopeful to as much as possible. Obviously, we're still early in the season. We hire lifeguards through July. But at this point, right now, compared to this same point last year, we have more lifeguards on hand.
You have more?
We have more lifeguards. And so we're hopeful we're going to get even more than we did at the total of last year.
Do you know how many more?
Year to year?
Yeah.
I can get you the exact number, but it was a few dozen more.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Deputy Mayor of Communications, Fabien Levy, great to have you here as always. Come on back soon, okay?
Appreciate it, Dan.
Good to see you. I know